We are all a little depraved and debaucherous. Here is the king of podcasts.
Hello, everybody. This is Depraved and Debaucherous. This is King of Podcasts. Another episode here on the series as we continue to go and talk about all those issues of dating, relationships, and the like. And tonight's program is no different. Men desperately dating women and women deceptively dumping men. It's a horrible time for dating. You can watch more than enough TikTok videos or Instagram feeds or whatever there is. There's just a lot that's out there that could really, for someone that was actively dating before at a time when dating apps were not the norm, and the modern woman dynamic was not so pushed down our throats to where all the guys feel like if they're going to have a chance to get a woman's attention, they must have a significant six-figure income, a significant height of 6 foot or more, and a significant girth in their loins of 6 inches or more, among other things. But yes, women want their unicorn for the most part. And these are the most eligible women. But there's a lot of reasons why that's going on because of the fact that there's a lot of broken families out there. A lot of single moms and dads that are trying to do what their best they can to raise their kids. But when single women or single mothers are raising their children, you know, they're not going to have maybe a lot of great things to say about their baby's father because it doesn't happen much. I've done more than enough research talking to enough women that are online that are single mothers that are just, they don't have anything good to say about their significant other that they fathered a kid with. Right? There's just nothing like that. I get to my point now and I'm saying to myself, and I haven't actively dated in about 3 years. No, 2 years. Well, no, actively, I mean, aggressively date. Let's go like that. Been, I want to say about a decade. If some of you are out there, guys, maybe you can relate to this. You're at the point where it doesn't even matter about trying to pursue a girl. If you see a girl, you think you want to go talk to her, you want to make that attempt, you want to have that cringe of like, well, she's not even into you, not even close unless you provide to her. Like it has nothing to do with your conversation, your personality. It's your status. It's who you are. Now, I'm sure this is different for other parts of the country. But in South Florida, in New York, Los Angeles, all major cities, you're dealing with this. Where women feel like they can go ahead and look how they want, and they can feel comfortable because the weather allows them to basically wear what they want. And I just feel like now we're at the point where dating apps are a joke. As I have said since the start of this program, which is now a year old, I'm just going to make this point clear that dating apps, your traditional dating apps don't do anything. Let me tell you this. So I had a girl on Bumble respond to me. I've had a couple. And you know, for the most part, I get these travel mode women that will come on and they'll say they're in West Palm Beach or Boynton or Miami or wherever. And then I notice all of a sudden, oh, they changed their location to Nigeria or Kenya or, you know, California or somewhere else. And I had a girl that I guess she is in West Palm Beach. What was that amazing thing she said? Let me read real quick what she wrote me on Bumble. Because I was like, what on earth is wrong with you? I remember she gave a Snapchat. And let me see if I can find here if she's here at all. Hold on. Here we go. So she goes by the name Caramel. And first of all, she answers and says, okay. She thought she didn't have a Bumble anymore. And then I show her a screenshot of her page. Her name is Katie. She's 20 years old. And, you know, it was one of those extended time things, and she responded back to my message. And I said, what are you looking for? She responds back, yeah, I know. What are you searching for? Question with a question. I said, I'm looking to find a relationship. Oh, okay. I said, you're really in West Palm Beach. That's the crux of the conversation I had so far. That's it. And she all of a sudden says, yeah, but I don't meet unless it's worth it. So let me just make sure I see this here. Okay. She asks a question. She asks another question. And when she answers, she says, are you in West Palm Beach? She says, yes, but I don't meet unless it's worth it. So I said, you're an escort. She says, nope. And I told her, well, what you're saying is pay to play. She says, it means spoil me to get me into you. I say, I'm not judging if you're an escort, but you don't have to say you're not. I didn't meet you on a sugar daddy site. Then she says, I'm not an escort, honey. Escort means meeting, having sex, and getting paid. She didn't say paid, and getting paid. If you're not spoiling me, I'm not interested. And then I say, no, you're wrong. Because I'm trying to say that, that's not what escort is, right? And then she writes, I don't care if I'm wrong. I'm telling you how I do things. And then I give an explanation and say, listen, I mean, when you try to ask me for money like that, you're treating me like a John. So you're not attracted to me. You're not interested in me. You're just looking for money. And that's all you're on here for. And then she says, LOL, I'm not even looking. I've been deleted, Bumble. I don't even know how my account's still there, boo. You're the one added me. I won't unadd you. That was the conversation. This is the level of conversation on a dating app like Bumble. This is what Bumble gives me. And by the way, I've been on there and I've done premium subscriptions over there for like $30. This is one of those sites that's going to try to go even higher on the end as well. It's not surprising what the Tinder does the same thing. And I put a pretty decent profile, good pictures on there, current pictures. Doesn't know. I mean, that's the level of dating apps right now. Tinder, it's Bumble, it's Badoo, it's Match, eHarmony, all of them. They're all bad. And that's where we are now. And there's a lot of reasons why that's going on. Partly it's also the fact of what's being done by these dating apps and what they're doing to go ahead and bring people on board. Catfishing. There's a expose that Laura Cole at Wired.com wrote about customer service reps, freelancers being tasked with luring in the lonely and lovestruck through a network of dating and hookup sites. They're admitting it's happening. Admitting it happens. So they talked about during COVID in this particular story. They talked to a young man named Liam, responded to a Facebook ad for a freelance customer support representative. Invited for an online interview. Interviewer asked how he felt about moderating dating websites. He was asked to adopt fake online personas known as virtuals in order to chat to customers, most of them men looking for relationships or casual sex. Using detailed profiles of customers and well-crafted virtuals, Liam was expected to lure people into paying message by message for conversations with fictional characters. He pretended to be Anna 2001. This is a guy playing a woman. He played the role he was paid to play. One of hundreds of freelancers employed all over the world to animate fake profiles and chat with people who have signed up for dating hookup sites. The deception comes from the dating sites as well. Let me make that clear. This is nothing new. If you didn't know that we had this kind of catfishing from the dating apps, you're sadly mistaken. So that's what's going on. Oh, Liam is a she. Oh, okay. But she still has to play the part. But that's a story that came in from Wired. Now let's take what a recent story right now is coming from when it comes to the dating apps now, and a new concept that's in dating apps called revenge blocking, a popular trend. I'm going to play a clip here from NBC News that talks about this, and they talked to a young lady about her experiences on dating apps.
I work from home and I'm an online student, so I don't really meet people outside in the real world.
But now online dating is also changing the way we hold people accountable, known as dating revenge. It refers to waves of users reporting their exes for anything from documented misconduct to virtual exchanges, causing emotional distress, often referred to as love bombing.
Wow. Now, you've known people that have done this too, where now you're at the point where some people will see their significant others on dating sites and get them reported. But then also, any little thing could get a woman triggered. And they could just say, well, I'm just going to go ahead and just report you. It's a redeeming quality for them. It feels empowering for a woman to go ahead and say, well, I could just reject the guy, but I'm not going to just reject him. I'm going to cancel. I'm going to make sure he can't get on the site again. Now, by the way, that's what happened to me. I'm Exhibit A because I am banned from Plenty of Fish, from Match, from OkCupid. What are the other ones? I forget. There's a few others and I can't think of it right now, but yeah, I've been through plenty of those where it just happens. What can I do? Anyway, more in the story.
Some people say they've been booted from the apps entirely, although it's not always clear why, but they've made complaints to the Better Business Bureau over it.
See, I wouldn't want people to worry about this. Listen, the dating apps are not worth it. And dating, in many cases, it's just not helping much either. You want to try and see where you're going to do something out of this, it's just not working. Anyway, more on the story.
In some cases, it completely stops their online dating life. We haven't reviewed the content of her messages, but Erin Sharaba, a 36-year-old woman in Washington State, says that is what happened to her.
Now, before we get to Erin, they just showed on the video, which is on YouTube, the articles on NBC News' YouTube channel, Revenge Blocking is becoming a popular trend in dating apps. And Erin, 36-year-old, now, let me just say she is the quintessential dating profile for women. Middle age. She's, let's say, I'm not saying anything about her because she's pretty. I think she's cute. But on a scale like in society, she's above average attractiveness. She's a chubby girl. Okay. She does have long brown hair. Looks like she has really large, round, blue eyes, or brownish blue, I guess. I'm not sure. Greenish blue, excuse me. She also takes her pictures from the chest up. Like you're only seeing her shoulders, her neck, her face. That's it. She does not show the rest of her body. The insecurities are there, and I understand it. But I'm also one of those guys that wish there was a lot of women that didn't feel those insecurities, but what are you going to do about it, right? Anyway, let's go and get back to Erin.
Banned for about 9 months.
She believes it started after an unpleasant exchange with a man.
He messages me with some vulgar stuff and then mentions that I did not respond to him on Plenty of Fish.
I was having issues getting past their terms of service.
She thought that was the end of it. It wasn't.
And then there was another guy that had asked to go to my house and I told him no. Right after that, within 12 hours, I found out I was blocked.
As you can see here, Erin...
Now, by the way, the thing is that, yeah, there's guys that don't like the rejection and they're going to go ahead and try to get a girl blocked. It goes both ways. Don't get me wrong. But what's happening here is the guys just don't care. Some of these guys that are on here, they are predators. They're just looking to go ahead and find a girl that they think is easy enough to score with. That's it. Because that's what dating apps have been resulted to. Because dating apps and the people that are on dating apps are basically damaged people. I'm going to say this, about 95%, including yours truly, I'll put my hand up. Yeah, we're damaged. Emotionally damaged. We are dating damaged. We didn't get the breaks. We had the bad relationships. Or we didn't have any relationships, like myself. That's what happens. It sucks to have it that way, but that's just the way it is. And it's unfortunate. Anyway, back to Erin.
Erin got an email saying she was banned from Plenty of Fish for violating community guidelines and terms of use. It did not include specific details of why she was banned.
No, that's not going to happen. Doesn't make a difference. They're not going to say anything. Match Media Group, by the way. Yeah, Plenty of Fish, they're notorious for that. Plus, if you try to open up a new account, they're going to track you down and they will block you again. I'll just make that point clear. It's unfortunate for this young lady, but that's what it is. And let me tell you, you could try to do the speed dating that's out there. You could try to go meet people at like certain singles affairs, but you know what? It's the same crop of people that are pretty much damaged. I know, because Plenty of Fish have gone to their dating events. Same thing. I remember that. Nothing special, man. Woo. Horrible. And people that have really gotten to the point where they're just not comfortable. They're barely comfortable in front of a computer or on their phone talking to somebody else online. That's how bad it is now. You understand? That's how bad it is. So, moving on to the story here, it's unfortunate it's like this, but you know what? There's not much else you can do about it. Now, they go more into the story about what they're going to be doing. Let me get back to her. And let me kick one more part of the story that they finish up here with Erin.
Oh, it's just not right. It's really messed up.
In spite of the setbacks, Erin remained a believer, and she says it paid off for her.
I actually ended up getting back on 2 months after I was reinstated and met my partner.
Getting back to dating meant getting back online, where these days the game is played.
By the way, doesn't show her partner, and they never ask about it. We never get to see the partner. And I understand there might be a privacy issue that maybe the partner doesn't want to be shown. But we don't know if it's a partner, if it's a woman or a man. We don't know anything. And maybe she just said that to get back on. And partner doesn't mean relationship. It could also just mean it's a friend. Because that's all she wanted to find. Plus, remember, there are plenty of women out there that have always said, well, I'm just looking for a friend. Sometimes that's what they mean. Sometimes they don't. But remember, it's subcommunication. You have to understand what a woman might say, not necessarily might be what is really what she's saying. You have to just follow along with it. But it's really troubling. It's confusing altogether. So there's that story. And, you know, there's a lot of things when it comes down to hookup culture, which is what a lot of people are trying to do in the first place. Psychology Today talked about how freedom is not just another word for being nothing left to lose. Hookup culture, they talk about here, sex is not viewed as a profound experience. Major rules for maintaining casualness in hookup culture are drunkenness, aloofness, and avoiding tenderness and repetition. That if you're going to do hookup culture, there is no emotion involved. It's just sex and you're out. Pretty much it. Another story I think here is about if you are dealing with a woke fisher, the deceptive nature of what some people might do to try to get someone to be attracted to them. So they're basically just going to manipulate and find their way to get with somebody else. The new thing is now is woke fishing. We've talked about that on the program. Maybe not on this episode, not on the Period of the Debauchers, but I know I did it on one of my podcasts. I'm pretty sure. But you can look for it on my YouTube channel if you just do search for it. YouTube.com and then look for @King of Podcasts. It's all there. Plus, you can look for the website, ddradio.live, and you can find the YouTube channel. Go right through, and you'll get to it. Forbes writes about how you know you're dealing with a woke fisher. And woke fishing, realize, is for those that want to go and talk to you and they are supporters, they say, of social awareness and progressivism, and exploiting the trend to be pretending to be more socially conscious and woke in a bid to attract partners. You know, it's honestly, listen, there are guys that act like they're male feminists just to try to get close to women. I know that trick. I might have tried that trick. It doesn't work. It's not effective. And honestly, you got to hold that lie up, and that doesn't work. You're going to get exposed soon enough. Now, the signs that they say here are actually pretty much on anything else. Anything about a manipulation. Seeming to agree with you on every aspect of every issue you're passionate about. But then when you do that, you are taking the risk of being friend zoned by doing that. They only seem to have a superficial understanding of the issues they claim to care about. Right. They just know what they see on the surface of certain stories, but they never actually participate. They're performative. But then again, how many people that might be progressive are performative and really do not actually partake in particular activist issues? They might have an opinion, but are they actively, pursuing the plight of those that are disenfranchised or oppressed, right? They may engage in superficial activism, posting about social issues or social media, attending protests, without actively participating in social justice efforts or contributing to meaningful change. And finally, obsessed with their social media presence and inconsistent with their opinion. Right. They change and flip-flop on a dime. Right. There's that too. Here's a great story. HuffPost UK writes, 9 non-obvious signs you're dating a man-child. I put them in the description, by the way, but if you can't hold down a job, little to no ambition or a drive for success, unreliable when it comes to money, not emotionally supportive, doesn't take responsibility for his actions, jealous of other men, no interest in doing anything productive or creative, or parents still do the laundry, cooking, and cleaning. Well, yeah, man-child. And the thing is that there are women that will still take men like this when they're early on their dating experience, or there's something that attracts them, or the sex is good, something that will make them say, well, I want to stick with this. And they will get themselves into a relationship that's just going to be bad. We know that happens a lot too. Very much often. You can't deny. Two more things I want to bring up before we wrap up the show. How about this? Sexiest words you could say on a first date. The Good Men Project actually reported this. So let's take the story. So there's a guy that talks about going on a first date and how well it went, that he met her several years online. Online, she thought, I could and would marry. She was beautiful, cultured, warm, and witty, a PhD psychologist with a beautiful and generous heart. So he said a couple things to start off the date that were sexy. Number one, we're not going to have sex until we look into each other's eyes and say, I love you, and mean it from the depths of our hearts. And he makes the point about how women on a first date don't know you, especially if they meet you online. They don't know if you're a fetishist, a hothead, a raging egotist, a perv, a player, or an insensitive jerk. They don't know it yet if they're safe. And so he says something like this to try to use on a first date. I want to say something we could just relax and discover who each other really are. Though I find you wildly attractive and sexy, I'm not going to try to kiss you tonight or take you home or even elope to Vegas. Tonight's just an opportunity for us to share truths, our visions, and what we want to create in this life, and to see if we inspire each other even a little. If I don't make a move or try to kiss you, please know it's because I don't want to, but I want to save that first kiss if this begins what I hope it will be for when we will feel truly connected. Let me tell you, if anybody says this line, the girl's just walking away. They're just way too deep of a conversation on a first date. You got to keep it casual. Keep it casual. I mean, unless there's a talk that really makes something there, but I don't know. And that's the part that I just thought. I read this story. It's from Adam Gilad, a Stanford Humanities Center graduate research fellow. Yeah, I don't know about this. We're not going to have sex. You know what the woman's going to say? Yeah, we're not. And we're never going to. Pay the check. Pretty much. That's what I think will happen. And by the way, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to the latest cover model of the 2023 Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Wow. Martha Stewart. 81-year-old Martha Stewart. And by the way, you look at her, she looks great for 81. God bless her. And then she was a model, by the way, growing up. And yeah. It's good. Mae Musk was the last person that was the oldest before. She was in last year's cover at age 74. And she felt good. She feels she looks really good. And they talked to Holly Thomas, clinical researcher, assistant professor of medicine at the University of Pittsburgh, talking to Yahoo Life. For midlife and older women, it will be empowering to see someone in their age group represented on the magazine stands, in the grocery store, somewhere that everyone's going to come to look. It's different than she was on a cover of Vogue in a dress. The Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue holds a special place in the American psyche with regards to beauty ideals. Yes. Because no matter what, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue, there's something to be said about what is considered beautiful. if it was Tara Banks, who looked amazing on the cover, to Kate Upton, to Kathy Ireland, to Cheryl Teagues, to Polina Poroskova. I can name a bunch, right? Good for them. Good on them for them to be part of this, and that's fine. Good. That's all I got for tonight. That is D&D for tonight. Thanks for listening to the program. ddradio.live is the website where you can find the show, you can find everything that's going on about what I do here on the program, all past episodes. You know my social media. If I haven't told you yet, it's at King of Podcasts. And you can find all of it wherever you find podcasts. On social media, it's at King of Podcasts on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. Plus, you can also find the show, again, wherever you find podcasts. And that's over on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Google, and all the other links you can find through ddradio.live. And most importantly, all major podcast platforms. Please make sure to rate and review the show as well. I hope you'll think about doing that too. And I hope all of you don't get caught up on this woke fishing, catfishing crap and dealing with damaged people. We're damaged, we're depraved, and we're debaucherous.